Hey guys, we are live. We are back from Indy, and I still have the music going. How about that? Let's do the music a little longer because obviously we don't want to just jump into talking about the Dolphins. Obviously, we're still hurt about that. But, anyways, guys, thank you for joining us tonight on another episode of the SoFLo Sports Show. It's your host, 305 Sports Babe, co-host Lou from Dade, and we are.
The music should actually be funeral themed because things look real bleak right now. If you're a Miami Dolphin fan, does not look good, and just a horrible loss on Sunday.
We are feeling it. We're still feeling it. We're going to be feeling it for a while. Every time we lose, you think like we'd get used to it, but every time it stings. It stings more and more and more. And we went into Indy thinking that was a winnable game, just like Tennessee. And here we are again with another loss. And, we were there. We had a whole bunch of people with us. We had a great trip. And everything seemed to be wonderful. And then the thing that we can't control happens. And it's like, But anyways, we came back last night. We got back to our house around 11 o'clock. No issues with our flight. We had a lot of Dolphin fans on our flight as well. We had a direct flight from Indy to Miami. And we are here.
I want to mention that a lot of the Dolphin fans that were coming back yesterday on our flight, they were all wearing their Dolphin gear, as were we. And so I thought
I was wearing black. I was mourning.
Well, you did have some, you had your wristband on and you had a hat. You had your Dolphin hat on. But, it was cool that people were repping still. You're repping the team after they let you down. That was definitely a winnable game. It's hard to win on the road, but that was a winnable game. We had more than enough chances. We kept giving the game away, and the Colts didn't want to win the game. They were trying to give it back to us. And it was almost like the Patriot game a couple of weeks ago before the bye. But it was nice to see the Dolphin fans on that flight. I would say about 15 Dolphin fans, I'd guesstimate, were on our flight back to Miami, and every single one of them was wearing their team gear.
Yeah, no, it was definitely Finn's flight home. Not happy, but we made it. So, like we said, we got home late last night, and it's on to another week. Obviously, we have Arizona coming up this week. It's Fans Club weekend, so we have a lot of fans in town from around the world. This is the weekend where everyone comes, and we really push forward for hopefully a win. And it's kind of like a sweet story because Tua is coming back, so it adds, to make it even sweeter. And obviously, a lot of our fans are big Tua supporters. So, it's sweet that they get to see him live in person back from his concussion.
No doubt. And at this point, how could you not be a Tua supporter just because what's taken the field since and been under center since he's gone has been complete garbage. There's no other way to say it.
Yeah.
All of them. Tim Boyle, who finished. If you would have told me that Tim Boyle would be the quarterback that we'd see both times on the road. He, of course, came into the Seattle game after Skylar Thompson went down, and then came in relief in the second half to Tyler Huntley going down. I would have never guessed that we'd be on the road watching Tim Boyle try to win games, for our team. So, but Boyle's been awful. Huntley's been awful. Skylar Thompson was terrible. Funny stat that was out there today. Tua actually, even though he's only played 6 quarters of football, leads the Dolphins in passing. So he hasn't played in the last 5, 4 games.
Because this offense that they run doesn't trust the pass game, so they trust the run game, which only gets us 2 to 3 yards. So that's no surprise, anyways. I definitely see where that's going on.
Yep.
But no, we had a great time in Indy. I mean, you guys have seen the pictures. It was a great trip. The weather was like the most perfect weather you could possibly want. It was 70s, like no clouds in the sky. You could have been without a jacket at night. During the day, it was perfect. So that was for us. Dolphin fans from all around were there.
Yep.
We had our first official Finvasion tailgate or Finvasion trip. So it was our first trip for 305 Sports Travel. And I know we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But let's just get right into the game. As you mentioned, it was tough. It was not pretty. There was so much that went wrong. Obviously, the play calling again. Obviously, McDaniel with not knowing when to call timeouts, not knowing, how really to run the ball. If you're going to run the ball, at least run it right. Sanders, again, choked. I feel like it's to the point where you just can't even watch because it's such a flippable coin. And I know you're thinking like, hey, it's just 3 points. But the 3 points, all of it adds up. And it was rough. I mean, Jonnu Smith looked good, and you like to see that.
Yeah, Jonnu Smith finally had a big game. He scored the only touchdown for the Dolphins. I wouldn't say Sanders choked. I mean, he hasn't made the big kicks when he needed to. This is a 54-yarder that he missed. He doinked it off the left field goal post. I don't want to say it's a choke job, and I don't blame Sanders as much as I blame Mike McDaniel in that spot. You know, look, the Dolphins started off going back before we even got to that point in the game. Dolphins started off with that touchdown, as we mentioned, to Jonnu Smith. They're up 7-0. Then they're up 10-0 on a field goal by Sanders, a chip shot. They had a chance to go into the locker room up 10-0, but instead of McDaniel running down that last drive to set up Sanders for that field goal, he called a timeout. He threw a pass, and he gave the Colts an opportunity to have a drive down the other side and get a cheap field goal, and that's exactly what took place. Instead of having a 10-point lead going into the half, it's 10-3, and it's still a one-score game. So
still there.
And that's on McDaniel. You got to run that clock out and make sure that the Colts have no opportunity whatsoever to do what they did, which is put up points before the half, and that was a mistake in itself.
You speak about the Colts. Obviously, we knew Anthony Richardson was the starting quarterback, and the fans were booing, right? Like
they were booing,
and then
as they should.
They wanted "We want Flacco" chant. And I'm like, I know myself, and you were like, we don't want Flacco because we obviously know the caliber of quarterback Flacco still is. And I feel like if the Colts were to start Flacco over Richardson, it would have been a different ballgame in the sense that it would have definitely went the Colts' way, and it would have been worse than it already was. So we kind of lucked out that they started Richardson as opposed to Flacco because we know Flacco can play.
Yeah, no doubt. I wanted to check in who's in the room, give a quick roll call who's in the room here. And, look, Anthony Richards was terrible. 10 of 24, 10 completions is all he had. Horrible. Had 129 yards total passing. He did run the ball, 56 yards. He didn't go nuts. And most of that came in at the end when they're trying to, hang on to the ball and bleed the Dolphins out. But, Richardson just looked awful out there and, gave us every opportunity. Couldn't convert on key third downs, give us an opportunity to get back in the game. And, of course, the two big plays, the big miscues that the Dolphins had were the fumbles. Mostert had a big fumble, which, he's had some issues.
Mostert, though.
Well, no, but he's had some issues, not so much as his Dolphin career, but in San Francisco he had some fumbling problems. And then Ingold with a very costly fumble that would have given us a chance to get another score and maybe put that game out of reach. But the way Richardson was playing, it would have been hard for them to come back. But cannot give the ball away like that twice. And then as great as the defense has been playing, and they've been awesome. They've been keeping us in games, but there's not been a big takeaway. A couple of years back, Van Ginkel had big, interceptions or fumble recoveries. Agba had one, a couple of years back as well. We just haven't had that big play on defense to turn the ball over and turn the game in our favor. So we need that as well.
And I think the one thing that we haven't spoken about that needs to be mentioned is Braxton Berrios, right? Braxton obviously got injured. The way he got injured where we were sitting, it looked like it was almost like he got clotheslined, and it looked like he just had his wind knocked out of him. Yeah. And that's what we thought originally, like, hey, okay, he had a hard hit. He's not the biggest guy. But then we found out that he actually torn his ACL, and he's out for the season.
He wasn't doing much to begin with.
You hate to see it with any player. Our players are not. And to your point, he's not having a big year. Obviously, he takes the knees 9 out of 10, almost 10 out of 10 times, and that really doesn't do anything for us because the ball is so far behind. But the fact of the matter is just another player with the voodoo doll. So whoever has his voodoo doll, put another needle into TD the Dolphin, which obviously hurts our players.
Yep.
And so it's another injury. And here we go. So now who's back there? I think you put Tyreek back there. I know it's dangerous, right?
I don't think Tyreek. I think, look, the guy that was returning punts all preseason was Malik Washington. So you hope that he's, ready to step into that role because Braxton Berrios didn't really do anything. Obviously offensively as a wide receiver wasn't getting anything done. And he was doing a lot of fair catches. And
he was catching the ball literally. There was nothing, fumble,
but not advancing or helping out.
You could do that. You could easily catch a ball like that. So obviously that was the big news coming out of there was Braxton out indefinitely, which you hate to see it. Former Cane
out for the season, not indefinitely. He's out.
Out indefinitely for the season. They're gone. So that's going to be talk of the town to figure out who's going to be back there.
Yep. Yeah, that's true. We'll
see. You wanted to let's see in the chat. Let's go here. I know Lou and I just went on a tangent. Sorry, we're not upset going on. So we have. You want to read them? I'll put them up for you.
Desi's in the house. Desi is a big Celtics fan, and his Celtics
They just did the banner tonight.
They just did the banner.
Yes.
So congrats, even though we're Heat fans.
That.
Congrats to you, Desi.
It's amazing.
We just saw with the Panthers a couple weeks ago, so we know. Sandy
she's coming to town, or she's here from California for Fans Club weekend. Cannot wait to see her and Jer. Miss Finn's in the house as well. Who else? You guys look tan. No,
it's the lighting.
Yeah, definitely lighting. Even though it was sunny in Indianapolis, it's just the lighting. And actually, one of our lights are flickering. It was flickering, so definitely just lighting tonight. Let's see what else. Who else we got in the chat tonight? Ray.
That's a great point. Everybody keeps on, true Dolphin fans continue to rep their team.
Wish we had a backup. Yeah, no. It would be nice to have like a
both of those guys would be awesome.
And then Mike says, chop the bus. OBJ was a huge mistake. We're so old.
Look, you're not telling any lies there. Chop actually got hurt. He didn't come back into the game, but he got hurt and was had to miss a couple series there. He got back in the game, but look, he's really not done anything that impresses you right now, especially being a first-round draft pick where he was picked at 18. He should be contributing a lot more, especially with the fact that now Phillips is out, Chubb hasn't played.
Yeah.
So
this Finn's made a good point. That is true, but the defense did keep the Colts to under our average score of 22. That's positive thinking.
That's a winnable game. I mean, you allow 16 points, you've done your job. And again, one of those was directly the fumble, put them right in our territory, and that's how they got that score. The defense has been awesome all year. I love the defense, and they've been doing their job for sure.
Sandy is coming Friday. So what we're seeing is most of the fans clubs, they usually, some of them are already here, right? They're thinking, hey, come to Florida. But most of them are coming Thursday and Friday. So Sandy, safe flights here. 706 Fins fans. What's up, guys? Can't wait to see everyone Fans Club weekend. Yeah, another one coming in for Fans Club weekend. I swear you guys tanned up in Indy, So the stadium was indoors. They did not open the roof because they said it was a malfunction.
Right.
But we did go on top of a restaurant. Hopefully Lou has the picture where it was a rooftop kind of restaurant that's been. It was just a closed. But yeah, we didn't really get any sun.
We did not get any sun up. No, the weather was great. I mean, actually, it was a little hot, to be honest with you.
Yeah, some of the days were warm. I had boots for the most part. We sweat.
When we first got in, it was in the high 40s, low 50s.
Because we got in at 2 o'clock in the morning.
We got in very late. We left Thursday night, so we got in late. But yeah, it was cold in the morning, as is customary in
Midwest, anywhere.
Midwest,
or anywhere every time we leave Miami.
Correct. Yes. But then it heated up in the afternoon, so I wasn't wearing jackets or anything. It was nice and warm out.
We got there.
Nice breeze, not obviously as humid down here as Miami. So yeah.
No, my hair actually still has the original curls from before the trip. So that you still have these. We're in good shape.
Yeah.
But no, everything was good. No issues traveling. No flight delays. Everything was. The hotel was great. Obviously, we'll talk more about the trip in general in a little bit. But moving forward, looking forward to Arizona this week, right?
Do you want to? because I know we're going to show pictures. Do you want to? I do want to say this. The Colts, beautiful stadium. By the way. I mean,
some people said it's the most beautiful stadium they've ever gone to.
It's a beautiful
truly
stadium.
Stunning. Lucas Oil. It's like
a barn almost, but built like really nice. Very reddish brown brick that stands out.
Yeah.
You got the beautiful. I think we have it coming up in a picture here, but Peyton Manning statue was awesome on the outside.
And then Peyton Manning actually was in front of his statue.
Yes.
So that's a whole other thing. Only thing is, right, if we had to really assess the stadium, the concourse was tight.
It was tight.
So you were.
Well, it's a square building. It's not like a regular stadium where you have a circle around. It's a square, a barn type setup. So yeah, the corners, not corners in a square, but the rotunda, if you will, not the rotunda, that's bad too, but the walkways are very narrow. So it was that's a good point by you, but really high ceilings.
High ceilings.
So that's pretty awesome.
No crazy lines for concessions
at all.
I got you a beer within 2 minutes.
Yeah, they had bathrooms right next to the inside of the seating bowl area.
I was in the bathroom 3 times and I never leave my seat once because it was so easy just to go.
And then on the outside as well. So it's really easy to navigate your way around the stadium.
So let's bring it back. So before we get into Arizona, let's finish
in-game entertainment also. In-game entertainment.
Oh, the best.
Fantastic.
Trivia, parachutes coming from the sky.
Confetti after field goals. I mean, after a field goal, and they only scored 60 points, but they're shooting off confetti, fireworks.
Yeah.
they
So
had
the
parachute.
t-shirt toss. Psh, psh, psh.
Your guy Blue, who I didn't really know much
Oh.
about him, but Blue is her favorite mascot, and apparently the most famous mascot in all the NFL.
8 million followers.
8 million followers. I mean, look at that. I mean,
And we saw the real Blue.
We did see the real Blue. That was pretty cool. We took our tour of the Colts facility. We'll show pictures of that later as well. But yeah, no, it was an awesome facility. In-game entertainment was awesome. They did put up a.
The music was good too. The music was 305 music, and our friend Andrew was like, Ash, this is gonna hype up our boys because it's like Trick Daddy and stuff. So you would think Indiana, but they really played like the music that we play.
Yep.
They're down, Dolph. Like
Yeah. They also had a this or that segment where they had Dan Marino and his isotoner gloves versus Peyton Manning and his cameo appearances. Like who was the most popular quarterback? Of course, they went with Peyton Manning. We would differ down here. We would disagree with that, but understandable. And Peyton does have a couple rings, so he's got that on Dan for sure.
Yeah.
But that was cool. Now I will say this. They were not that loud. I got to be honest.
No, it was like a high school. Super quiet.
The building, the roof was closed, so you thought that it would have withheld the sound in. I don't know how it sounded on TV, but we were definitely there. We were in the end zone, and I think it's also jaded the fact that we were in Seattle in week 3, so we saw a crazy atmosphere, one of the loudest in the NFL. But this was not that. The fans were cool. Everybody, no issues with any fans, but the crowd was not as active as I thought it would be.
They were demure. That's like the new word. Like they were just
laid back. They were laid back. I mean,
they weren't going to that game confident, right? They weren't like thinking it's going to be a butt whipping. So it was just chill. It was just a chill atmosphere.
Definitely no sound on first and second down. And when the announcer comes out and say, "Hey, it's third down, Colts fans, get loud," it wasn't that loud.
Anything special.
It wasn't that loud. So I will say that. But game experience, the aesthetically, our
seats were so comfortable.
Seats were amazingly comfortable. No, everything else about that was great.
Yeah, I have no complaints. So you want to get into the trip as a whole?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So we get in on Thursday night, which is really Friday morning. We get it. Or was it? Yeah, it was. It was Friday. We get in at 3. We wake up, and then hotel was wonderful. We stayed at the Fairfield Inn. We had a room block. So for those who got the packages with us, they were able to easily just give their last name and did the same process we did. So super, super easy. The hotel, big shout out to them because it was wonderful. Awesome. Breakfast was great. The hotel free breakfast. Everyone loves that. So we wake up on Friday and I'm like, let's go to museums. Yeah. So I told you that we were going to go to the NCAA museum,
which is right across from the hotel, which is awesome. They have a bunch of.
So why don't instead of going by this, let's go by picture by picture. Probably easier if we do it like that.
Show that up. So
let's do that. All right. So
are they seeing it yet or no?
I'm going to share it. Hold on.
Yeah, so the museum was located right across. They actually had the NCAA Hall of Champions Museum, and they also had the NCAA offices. So all the main businesses that take place with anything NCAA is based out of Indianapolis, and that was pretty cool to see that. They also had the history, the history museum of the state of Indiana. That was awesome. Yesterday, when you're showing it there, is it coming out or not yet?
Oh, I'm just going. Let's see. So this is in front of the Hall of Champions, NCAA Museum. Really cheap to get into. I think it was like $8 per person.
$7.50. I think it was.
2 stories. Top stories, all interactive as well too. Like we played basketball, we were kicking field goals. Like it was
every sport. They had fencing. They had a fencing display. Lacrosse. They had all this stuff. This is from the. Well, that was that. Did you have the other picture of us? No. So this is from through our ticket rep. We were able to get a tour of the Indianapolis Colts practice facility, which was awesome. This is the commemorative display case from the Super Bowl one down here in Miami in 2006. And you'll notice the confetti is in Dolphin colors because obviously it was a Dolphin, hosted at the time was Sun Life Stadium, but they hosted that Super Bowl. And so the confetti is actually in Dolphins colors, which we found kind of funny. But so that's that there.
What they go back on that. So the practice facility is actually about 25 minutes away from downtown.
Gorgeous facility.
Very suburb, gorgeous. You'd go right past it. There's housing around it and everything. So we were very lucky to have the opportunity to get a VIP tour of that. And we kind of messed up because we went there super Dolphin decked out. Yeah. And we should have been kind of cash.
The security guy was
he was like, what are these people doing here?
The cavity search was a little much, but besides that, no. He kind of was was perplexed why there were Dolphin fans coming to, but no, we wanted to see the tour. And look, for us also, we wanted to see the fact that Don Shula started his career not with the Indianapolis Colts, but with the Baltimore Colts. So we'll show that picture in a second. But this is more the Colts Super Bowl display of their Super Bowl one down here in Miami. They had newspapers, and there is a picture of Don Shula. This is from their 1968 team that went to the Super Bowl, lost against the Jets, but that's Don Shula on top, and the great Hall of Famer, the late great Johnny Unitas down low. This is some of the guys that were on our tour. They had a great time with us. The Boog family is in there. John is in there.
So what we did was we only had 8 spots total for our tour. So for those who secured the package first with us, we gave them first dibs. So whoever secured the full package was able to take advantage of this free tour. So we got the Boog family, and you got John and Emily. Emily is a Colts fan, but we did not hate her for that. We had a great time.
We did post also. I posted pictures of. I mean, the tour was incredible, and I think the Dolphins definitely need to do something like that because they had mannequins dressed up and all the great Colt players. Some of them that went down here to the University of Miami, Reggie Wayne, Edgerrin James, that obviously turned out to be Hall of Famers and legendary Colts. So the Dolphins need to look into doing something like that.
Obviously, and they asked us, the people on our tour, our friends were like, "Hey, do they have anything like this in Miami?" We're like, "No, they do not."
So they did have to celebrate the '72 season. They had a 50-year celebration, but that was like they just had it in for that season. Yeah. So, but they definitely need to do something like that. This is Monument Circle. Indiana or downtown Indianapolis is known as the Circle City. So this is the famous shot with it looks like Bellagio or something in Las Vegas.
I could see it, yeah.
And the water was so clear.
And the weather, look at this, literally no clouds in the sky. It was that day, guys. The whole
beautiful
weekend.
Sunny day out. And I was tempted to go in that water. You have to hold me back because I wanted to do some laps in there.
Nice.
That water looks so inviting. This is me at St. Elmo's trying their famous spicy shrimp cocktail. Which is that's my reaction after I tried it. It definitely stings a little bit, and but it tastes and hurts so good. It's definitely one of the premier experiences. Sorry, you can take that picture out. One of the premier experiences. That's Ashley and I at the famous St. Elmo Steakhouse, 1902.
A very long
it goes
time.
Back to it's a beautiful restaurant, very historic and really good. Here's Ashley with Taylor Swift in the background. They have these signs all over town that just have the NDY, and they encourage the people to stand in place, put their hands down. Ashley's trying to do a Findy here, so take the FIN and make it Findy. But so yeah, it was those are all over town. It's pretty good. This is from our event on Saturday. We had our FinFan social, which was awesome, and we had some a lot of people turn out for that. That was a great time. Had a 2-hour open bar. And we did a lot of raffle prizes. You did a 50-50 drawing. I know that our winner, I don't know if you ever coming up here.
Let's see what I got.
Some of the people that were there. Cool thing about this too is it was we planned this before we knew the Hurricanes were playing, but the event was from 2 to 4, and it coincided with the Hurricane game that started at 12:15 kickoff, I think, for that game. But as our event was coming to an end right before we did our drawing, the Canes game was ending, and we'll get to that Canes game later. But it was pretty cool to see that that we could see the Miami Hurricanes play during this event. Of course, a lot of Dolphin fans are Hurricane fans. As a matter of fact, the game was about an hour and a half away, and a lot of fans ended up going to Louisville and then coming back into the Indianapolis and doing the Dolphins Colts game. So if you're a South Florida sports fan, that was a heck of a weekend for you. Saturday and Sunday, your college and pro teams playing. I'll let you talk about this one.
Yeah, this is our tailgate. This happened a block away from Lucas Oil Stadium. We rented out this room. We had a huge buffet. So before the tailgate, we watched during the tailgate, Jacksonville was playing.
That's right. Jacksonville and New England played in the morning.
Obviously, we were cheering for New England. We were cheering for Jacksonville. So it was fun
against New England.
Yes, it was fun to cheer against New England. A whole bunch of people.
Yeah. So, and Big O's in the background there. Here, Big O's, he did his live broadcast show from Tavern on South. Shout out to Crystal and all her staff. TK was great. The staff that worked Tavern on South was awesome.
Yeah, our waitress, her name is Brianna, and they took care of us.
They sure did.
I mean, it was a fun time.
And Big O had his setup. I think we have a picture here. He interviewed you post game after the game was over. But yeah, we had a All included was we had a buffet set up that had pretty much nonstop.
We ate a
food
lot.
coming out. We ate a lot.
We could have been linemen that day.
And all the your alcohol was included as well. This is us doing our Finns chant. We sang the fight song, and we definitely repped. Here a couple. Big O was gracious enough to give some shirts. He gave us some shirts too. But the winner, a couple of raffle prizes was that. We also had our buddy Johnny. He ended up winning Lucas Oil concession gift card, so he was able to use $25 was able to be used inside the stadium, which he got some pins with that, so that's cool. This is us outside Lucas Oil Stadium. Again, a beautiful stadium. You can see it there. Peyton Manning, I mean, he is the anti-Marino when it comes to this. Peyton Manning is a man of the people. He was signing autographs. There's a Dolphin fan there. He signed her ball. Peyton Manning was just awesome, just signing for everybody. He was actually, as you mentioned, outside his statue, which I know we have a picture of his statue as well, but he was signing. There's Dan Marino. Of course, not smiling. We love Dan, but Dan, Tom Garfinkel there, and Stephen Ross walking in. There we are, holding our Dolphins flag, and our everyone who sat in our section, our great Finns family representing. We were excited pregame. We were excited for the most part throughout the game. But
we had fun. We did the chants and stuff. We did.
Fun. We were doing another first down chant every time we got one. This is Dallas Clark, the famous tight end for the Colts. He got inducted into the Ring of Honor. So this is a cool moment, and an even cooler moment. Well, there's Peyton Manning statue. A couple of good shots of him. I mean, just an iconic pose. Peyton Manning slinging that football, getting ready to sling that football on that statue. Here you are with the Big O and Sean, producer of the Big O radio show. And he's doing a little one-on-one interview with you. And then this was an awesome moment. So you saw Dallas Clark got inducted into their Ring of Honor. And later on that night, as we're walking to dinner, we see, a group of about 10 people. And I did a double take. I'm like, that's Dallas Clark. And Ashley's like, it looks like him. I thought the same thing, but I don't think we'd just be randomly walking down the streets of Indianapolis. But sure enough, it was him. As you see there, he's still wearing his blue jacket from his induction into the Ring of Honor. So this was a cool moment. And again, you want to talk about how cool of a guy he was.
It was the coolest. I mean, he was like, you guys traveled here. You guys do this. This is amazing what you do. And I'm like, bro, we're nothing. You have a Super Bowl ring. I don't even know what the word Super Bowl means. I'm a Dolphins fan. And he was just super humble.
He kept asking us questions like, what other games are you going to? What do you think? You think Tua's coming back? I'm like, Dallas, your family is walking ahead of you, man. I love you. I just wanted to come say hi, maybe snag a picture, but get back to your family, man. I mean, he was just such a cool guy. So cool. This is our Dolphins fan again. This is pretty much one of our last pictures here. We hit up Giordano's, got some takeaway pizza, and some chocolate from the South Bend Chocolate Factory, which was awesome. So that was pretty cool.
The one picture that I do not see here is one that I wanted to show. Let's see. Is it this one? No, I don't think that it's here. Okay, so I don't... The one picture that I'm not showing is from here. I'm going to stop sharing it then. So we had a 50-50. We had a huge 50-50 that we like to do.
Put it up on your phone.
Okay. So we had a huge 50-50 that we do at all of our events. We like to obviously raise money for DCC, Dolphins Challenge Cancer. And so,
for those of you who are unaware, 50-50 is exactly as it sounds.
I don't know what 50-50 is. You have the pot in the air.
Right, exactly. Half the pot goes to the winner. Half the pot was donated. You made the donation today, right when we got back into town. And so it was a total pot of $1,080. And so 540 went to the winner. I mean, that's a pretty good score right there.
Our winner was Diane. She was in shock when her name was pulled. Callie, one of our visitors there, Callie, it was Callie's birthday week before she turned 15. So I brought Callie up to stage. I was like, Callie, you're going to pick the winning number. So she goes into the pot and she pulls out the number. Last two numbers, 99. Jason Taylor was with us. And so here's a picture of Lou and I and Skip and Diane. So you can see Diane shaking the money maker and her with her winnings. So super cool that, she won the money and then half a pot.
She got a little scared when, 540, that's a great score. I mean, who doesn't want to win five? I mean, that pretty much pays for a big chunk of her trip.
Yeah.
but it's pretty funny. She was, she was a little appalled when I mean, not appalled, but I yelled out, "All right, she's Diane's going to buy drinks for everybody, or some shrimp cocktail over at St. Elmo." So that she didn't sign up for that part. So, but no, she understood I was joking around. But no, like I said, that's a big score, and for her to take that amount down was pretty awesome. I do want to share. We mentioned the Big O show, so we got a couple of shirts as well. These are some awesome aqua Dolphins colored shirts. Big O show is pretty awesome to get that. We mentioned Dallas Clark, so they gave away this as a giveaway.
They gave away stuff. We don't know what that means.
It's a little
We're
towel.
Dolphin fans.
Yeah, Dolphin fans don't get this kind of stuff.
We don't get swag like that.
A pretty cool 44 Clark towel is pretty cool.
And for those who sat in club, they actually gave away a bobblehead.
They gave away a bobblehead. So
crazy.
If you had club tickets to that game,
bobblehead was in your seat waiting for you.
We had our buddy John was he got club seats. And he was shocked. He's a Dolphin fan, and they still gave him a bobblehead of Dallas Clark. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Another thing they do there that they don't do down here is they give away these game day programs. So these are giveaways.
You don't pay for it. It was just
exactly. It's got the date. It's got the Dolphins on there. It obviously commemorates the fact that Dallas Clark went into the Ring of Honor. So these are pretty cool things that the Dolphins don't do. It goes a long way where you can have something like this.
And obviously we got a game pin. Yeah. So that was cool to have that. Just a lot of cool things. Yeah. So no, all in all, Indy was fantastic. We had an amazing time at the Fins Fan Social, at the tailgate. Hotel was great. We hung out with Dolphin fans before the game on those random nights on Friday and Saturday. We met up at this cool bar called Log Millers. It was right by the hotel. We shut it down pretty much both nights.
Yeah.
And we met new friends and reconnected with old friends. So
a lot of people also that just aren't on social media, so weren't aware of what, not just what we were doing, but what anybody else was putting together, because there's other events, other people putting stuff together as well. But a lot of them, were coming into town, and it was overwhelmingly. Big O talked about it on his show. Yeah. There was a lot of Dolphin representation there.
It was.
And it's awesome. Again, going back to the 70s, or whether you're a Marino fan, or your grandfather brought you into being a Dolphin fan. When we were America's team in the 70s, winning back-to-back Super Bowls, a lot of people stayed fans. We ran into a gentleman who was born in Muncie, Indiana, and hardcore Dolphin fan, And so
everybody has a story. Even John, our one of our greatest friends from Jersey, we got talking to him over a beer or two, and we said, "John, how are you a Dolphin fan?" And it's because he was getting his hair cut by his mom when he was a kid, and she snipped his ear, and long story short, ended up in the hospital and the game was on. So everybody has such a beautiful story. Yes, the majority of people fell in love with Dan, right? That's pretty much what we hear. But there are so many different stories. And then at our tailgate, we went around and everyone introduced themselves. "Hey, my name is so-and-so. I'm from here. And who's your favorite all-time Dolphin?" We had all different names. So
Zach Thomas was mentioned, obviously Jason Taylor.
But all different names.
Zonka, from all eras. It was
pretty
Ricky
Williams.
Like
that was, so it was. We had a great time.
Yes,
happy to be home, but it was one of our better trips, and definitely we are looking forward to Houston at this point.
Yeah.
But before Houston, we have a lot of more football to play.
Yes,
so
yes, we do.
Going into this week, again, Fans Club weekend, we play Arizona. Arizona Cardinals come down here. Tua's playing, right? I mean, that's what we're hearing. That's what he's saying. He also said that he's not wearing the Guardian helmet. Devon Achane wore it this week. Obviously, he came back from a concussion, and he wore it, and Tua just doesn't want anything to do with it. So we know that, yes, he's playing, but he won't be having that helmet.
So he's scheduled to be playing. And
well, everyone's saying
he
playing.
Really needs to, but he still has to be cleared.
Okay.
He still has to get on the field and practice and be cleared to play and to start that game. So it's trending towards that way.
If he's not going to play, who's going to be starting? Because I don't know anybody starting.
That's a great question.
So it has to be.
Skyler. Well, no, Tim Boyle is I think the only healthy guy in the roster right now.
So bad,
they're going to have to sign somebody else. They're going to have to make a move because, you can't just go into it with a guy that is horrible as Tim Boyle is, and a guy that hasn't played in 4 weeks and is coming off a concussion. So they're going to have to pick somebody up because I don't think Skyler's
it's going to be Tua. Everyone knows it's going to be Tua. I mean, it is what it is. Not coming in with a helmet. And he's going to just pick up from where he stopped. Now, my thing was, and a lot of people are also saying this, when he comes back, is it all going to be unicorns and sprinkles and sparkles and fireworks? Are things just going to magically get better? I mean, it's a huge test. Is this the point where things get better, or are we still at rock bottom?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's I wouldn't say it's rock bottom, but I think it's you can't say rock bottom when it's
How much worse can it get?
yeah, it's
So it's rock bottom.
You're 2-4. You're
Jets lost, which was great. Thank you, Steelers.
correct. Yeah, the Steelers whooped the Jets.
Thank you, Steelers. Thank you, Donald Trump, for being there. Thank you to the OnlyFans star for running on the field. Whatever happened, thank you for making that all happen because we needed that to happen.
Yeah, no, the Steelers definitely made the Jets an even bigger joke than us, which is hard to do.
Yeah, and then the players are getting mad at the media. The Jets players are getting mad at the media, and so that's a whole other issue. At least, like our players, yeah, they maybe not like the media, but it's not a whole thing where they're blaming the media.
I'm here for it. Whenever there's dysfunction with the Jets, I'm glad to see it.
So Jets lost, Patriots lost. That helps. Bills won. Bills. It was a close game until they spread out and won. So
we're playing the Titans. I mean, kind of
we played the Titans. How'd that turn out for us?
You're playing with your backup quarterback. So the Titans are not a good football team. Yeah. They were at home. We expected the Bills to win that game. So I'll tell you, let's see what happens this Sunday, and we'll get to that in a second here. But we got to win first of all, because if we don't win, you're on the cusp of the season.
And then you go to Buffalo next week.
That's where I'm going with it.
Sorry.
Now you're on the cusp with a loss this Sunday, which we hope is not the case. You're on the cusp now, the season completely getting away from you, and you don't want to look ahead, but you got a game in Buffalo.
Yeah.
You saw what they did to us down here, so they really got to come out of here on Sunday with a win.
Definitely. So we know it's 1:00 game at the Hard Rock on Sunday. Huge amount of Dolphin fans. Obviously, the home game, but it is Fans Club weekend. We spoke about that, so we know all of our fan clubs are going to be represented here. I mean, we have so many friends from SoCal, NorCal, Germany, Mexico. It's my favorite week just because everyone gets together. Obviously, I'd be remiss to mention, it's a big time that we think about Gary. Yeah. Gary loves Fan Clubs Weekend. It was one of his favorite things. So he is still very much with us. But it is a great time for everyone to really get together, and we need it. We need as much support and kumbaya as possible because we're just all down in the dumps. So we'll see. I mean, So you got a score prediction? I know it's early.
Yeah, I just want to. So Cardinals, Dolphins. They don't. Two teams that don't play that much. They're in completely different conferences. Going back to their days as the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah.
Since the 70s, they've only met 13 times. The Dolphins have actually owned them, 10-3 record all time.
I'll take it.
But again, they don't meet as often as they do as the opponent we just played, the Colts.
Yeah.
The Colts actually used to be in our division. It was pretty funny to look up at the rafters, and they had a couple AFC East Championship banners.
Yeah.
Because they used to be in our division. But the Cardinals, we see them very sporadically.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're favored by 3 points.
Good.
Injury report. We know obviously Barrios is done for the season, and then we'll know more after tomorrow's practice. But as you mentioned, it's trending towards Tua playing. Look, the Cardinals won last night. They beat the Chargers. By the way, the Chargers are garbage. I love the fact that Harbaugh is there from Michigan, and if anybody's going to turn that team around, it'd be him. But they're horrible. Justin Herbert looks lost. For all the people that are Tua haters or detractors and saying we should have picked Herbert, well, I'll tell you, Herbert looks lost. He doesn't look.
Well, that could just be the organization and the atmosphere he's playing on. I mean, it could have been different.
Yeah, but he's had weapons. He's had an All-Pro and Eckler, a running back. He's had Keenan Allen. He's had Mike Williams. He's had receivers. He's had opportunities. He blew up an opportunity to win a playoff game a couple years ago against Jacksonville, where he choked the lead away. And that's another team, Trevor Lawrence, who a lot of people were saying, "Hey, Dolphins should have got him." He's looked lost as well too.
I know in a lot of trouble, man.
Yep, I know they won last week against a couple days ago against the Patriots, but that's not a good team.
But that's a home game for them too, because they played in England, and that's another home game.
Correct.
So
yeah, no, I mean, you.
So what are you thinking? Score prediction?
Yeah, the Cardinals are coming off a win. They won at home. The Dolphins have not gelled at all.
I don't like where this is going.
The Dolphins got to prove it. I don't think it's as easy a fix as Tua coming back and being able to connect with Tyreek, being able to.
It would be beautiful, though.
It would be amazing, right? And if anything. And if you were a detractor or a hater, you have to appreciate the man even more because, as we mentioned at the top of the show, Tua leads all Dolphins quarterbacks in every category, and he's only played 6 quarters. So it just goes to show you the ineptitude of how horrible the Dolphins have been. And it starts at the top of coaching.
So John got the memo. John has a score prediction. John was on our trip.
Yes.
So
John, tell us something
John,
good.
what you got? John said 21-13 Miami. Wins is my prediction.
Okay.
All right. So
I like it.
John likes it.
I like it. As mentioned, Vegas is predicting him to win. They're favored by 3.
Slide to a slide. Your lips to
Exactly.
God's ears
Yes.
to his brain.
You're right, Desi. Guys, feel free to drop in your predictions in the chat.
What do you got for yours?
You want to go first or I go first?
You go first.
You're making me go first. All right.
I gotta think about it.
I am going to say that Tua comes back, and he's going to be a little rusty, and I think the Cardinals are going to win. Ugh.
You're going to be able to handle another loss?
No, I'm not. But I'm going to say that the I got the Cardinals 17, Dolphins 16.
Desi got nothing for you. Desi's really silent. He said he doesn't even have an idea of where.
I don't want to do it, but I just I think it's going to take Tua some games. You know, I don't think he's just going to be able to step back up after practicing for 3 days and be ready to be, you know, at the helm of the controls. So I think the Cardinals are going to beat us this Sunday. You know, and I hate to say that.
I'm with Desi. I'm pleading the 5th. On this one, really, you know.
I wish I could have done that. It would have made me feel better about the situation.
Then we would have just went on John's prediction.
Yeah.
No, I know, because of the show, I will give a prediction and I'll put it out there. I think we'll get a win. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I don't think it's going to be comfortable. I don't think we're going to see more than 24 points on the board. I think it's going to be
24 points. I mean, but yeah, I love that, but we can't score.
I said we're not going to. So I think it's going to be more like a 17-9 Dolphins.
Yeah, the stat, of course, I take that. I love that. Yeah. That means that the defense is going to once again play up and do their part. But
Weaver,
how about this crazy? No, he's been doing good.
I said Weaver will do it.
Yeah.
I was getting the Weaver.
Look, everybody's seen the stat already. The Dolphins scored 70 points famously against the Broncos last year in week 3. And this year, we've got 70 points combined in 6 games. I mean, we are averaging 11 point, whatever that number is per game. It's just pathetic.
Yeah.
And so we hope Tua's the fix, but I fear he's going to be a little rusty. You know, it's not even.
Nope, Desi came back. He said, nope.
Oh, tell me.
He came. He said, if Ashley's going to do it, I'm going to do it.
All right, good. There you go.
17-9 Cardinals.
You guys are on the same.
Okay, so he took my score prediction and he flipped it. Terrible.
Okay. Say it's Cardinals.
So no, he's with you. He's with you.
Okay,
so John and I are drinking the good Kool-Aid. You guys are drinking the poison.
By the way, not only is Desi predicting that we're going to lose, but more crazier than that, he's predicting that Sanders is actually going to make 3 field goals. I mean, Desi, you know he's going to miss 1. So I hope that, I mean, geez, Sanders, come on, man. He makes that 54-yarder, totally different outcome in that game. But going back to what I said earlier, too, it's not just Sanders having to kick that 54-yarder. If you'll recall, it was 4th and inches. And with the way that we are struggling to get points, and you know Sanders already missed big kicks, if you can't convert on 4th and inches, then you got bigger problems offensively than you know trying to get a field goal out of it, a long field goal at that. And so I gotta hope that McDaniel getting Tua back is going to make him into a better coach, because so far he's just made horrendous decisions, from blowing timeouts early on, from not being able to get his top receivers the ball. And I mentioned this last week. Is it him? Is he the guru really? Or is the fact that he came out of the San Francisco system, really what made him who he is? Because I'll tell you, San Francisco, Jimmy Garoppolo went down, Blaine Gabbert stepped in, that team won. Blaine Gabbert, who, by the way, is nothing special. Blaine Gabbert has had a horrible career, but he was able to win in San Francisco. And then he went out, and this unknown player called Brock Purdy comes out of nowhere and is a sensation. He's struggling a little this year, but my point is that how is their head coach able to win with 3 different quarterbacks, including their third stringer? And McDaniel has had now 4 different quarterbacks, and he can't get anything done with any of them. So, I'm starting to wonder if McDaniel's the guy for the job. And he's going to have to win this week, because you don't want to look ahead, but what's up next. It's a meeting in Buffalo. It's not going to be cold, but it's still Buffalo. And so, we'll see if he's able to turn this thing around by getting Tua back.
Yeah, no, we will see. And it's going to be very, it's going to be a big
taking brownies over here to tell me about it, or what are you?
No, I just burnt my finger.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's fine. So we'll see. Baseball, we're World Series. We have the typical meh. We have the New York Yankees against the LA Dodgers. I mean, it's kind of storybook given the year that Otani has had. It's kind of a sweet ending. Obviously, most people want to see the Dodgers win. Yankees have plenty of championships from here to the moon and back 10 times. So most people do want the Dodgers to win, besides those diehard Yankee fans.
I think it's mixed. There's a lot of
I'm hearing way more Dodgers.
Well, there's Yankee fans all over, and this, of course, this is rivalry. They've met plenty of times in the World Series. I forget the total number now. And I wrote it down, but it's over there, so I'm not going to go get it. But they've met in the World Series a bunch, dating back to when they were both in New York. The Dodgers, of course, were in Brooklyn, and the Yankees have always been the New York Yankees. But this is a heated rivalry. The two biggest markets, the two biggest media markets in the country, LA and New York. It doesn't get bigger than this.
Huge.
And then you got some top heavy lineups here. You got Mookie Betts. You got
offensively. Bats. Pitching is whatever, especially with the Yankee side. Pitching.
But I'm specifically talking about the top of the lineup. When you got Betts and Freeman, and you got Otani batting first, of course, leading off. And then on the other side, you got Soto, you got Stanton, you got Judge. And actually, right now, people think, oh, Soto's so great, and are they going to keep him?
Yeah.
And of course, Judge with another historic season. But the guy that's been carrying the load in the postseason has been former Marlin Giancarlo Stanton.
Yeah.
He's been carrying that team with some major home runs in clutch opportunities. So, you got to watch out for Stanton. But to me, it comes down to, Otani, because he is unstoppable. And he's doing this as the leadoff position.
Yeah.
The guy gets on, he's stealing a base. He might steal two bases, and if he's not getting on and you're pitching to him, you can't keep him in the ballpark. So Otani is just an amazing specimen. I mean, the guy just is the world's greatest baseball player, for lack of a better term. He is. And so I think what you're going to see in this series is what you saw in 2002 when it was the Angels, the LA Angels versus the San Francisco Giants, and Barry Bonds was playing for the Giants. How good was Bonds and how big of a zone was he in? Well, I'll tell you. In one of those World Series games, Mike Scioscia, the Angels manager, walked Barry Bonds in the World Series with the bases loaded. So I don't think you're going to see that, but I think you're going to see a lot of Otani because they're not going to let him beat them. So it's going to come down to that.
I say Dodgers in 5.
Dodgers in 5. Wow.
Game one's on Friday, play in LA.
Yeah, it's a 2-3-2 format. So the first two games in LA, they'll take a day off. So it's going to be Friday, Saturday, LA. Take Sunday off, play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in the Bronx. Take Thursday off, and then a game 6 and a potentially game 7 will be back in Los Angeles. And so I think it's going to be a longer series than that. I don't see it being a short series. I'm going to say Dodgers in 7.
Okay.
My prediction.
We'll see. Again, World Series starts on Friday, October 25th. So good start to the weekend. Very exciting about that.
Drop your predictions in the World Series in the room if you guys follow baseball.
He said Dodgers. John said, don't let Tom hear you saying anything bad about the Yankees. Your buddy Tom from Jersey.
Hit that? Where does it say that?
Right here. Don't let Tom hear you.
I was giving Tom heck all weekend. Tom, shout out to Tom. Tom went to Cleveland.
We would have done the same thing.
Yeah,
the Marlins
that was
awesome. Tom's crazy like us. He would have made the trip.
He was on our trip. He started off Friday with us, and then he drove to Cleveland to watch his Yankees play the Guardians.
Yeah.
And then he came back and joined us for all our events. So shout out to Tom. He's a big Yankee fan.
Yep. Chef's also in the house. Always giving us love.
Chef Drew in the house.
Always, Chef. We could have used your brownies or some type of cooking on Sunday because it was just a bad
Chef, man,
game.
what do you got cooking for Halloween, man? I know you got some recipes. Share them. Let us know. Yeah.
So, guys, we'll see how that goes. And last but not least, our Canes play the dreaded FSU, but it's really not dreaded anymore because it's really not the same matchup that it used to be, given the caliber of the Canes and given what FSU is and has been. So, still a big matchup. Can't go into that game with our head big. Obviously, we are still undefeated. We are one of very few teams that are undefeated. And obviously, we're a top 5 team in the nation. And FSU wants to destroy us. FSU wants to go in there.
It's a huge rivalry game. I mean, a lot of players on FSU are from Miami.
Of course.
It's a big recruiting war. And so, if they're 1-6 right now. They've had a horrible season.
Yeah.
But if they want to win just one more game this year, it's this Saturday. They want to beat the Canes. Bragging rights are on the line. Alumni, fan bases. It's
gonna be an ugly game, right? I think it's gonna be uglier in the sense that since FSU has nothing to lose and Canes can't let their reputation go down, I feel like it's going to be such a dirty game. I feel like the fans are going to be at it at each other worse than ever because of the fact that we're not dealing with two bad teams or two good teams. We're on different sides of the spectrum right now.
Yeah. Now the Hurricanes are favored by 21 points, which is a lot. Kind of disrespectful again to that arch rival nemesis.
Miss Finch just called them bums, straight up bums.
Yeah, they are. They are. But you know what? This is the kind of game they'll get up for, and it's going to be tough for the Hurricanes to hold them off. 7 o'clock, so primetime game.
Yeah.
At the Hard Rock, and
Hard Rock will be rocking.
We'll see. Hopefully the Canes. The problem with the Canes is that they've escaped the last couple of weeks. They just came off, as we mentioned, beating Louisville 40. They won 52-45.
Yeah.
So a high scoring affair, but that's giving them way too many points. They did the same thing in California. They had to come back in that game, and even against Virginia Tech. The week prior to that. So they've been kind of playing with fire these last 3 weeks, and they got to, make sure that they need a blowout win. And this is a good opponent to do it against. Rub it in their face. Rub it in the rival's face. That'd be cool.
Yeah, no, I think that, to continue moving forward, don't go into that game your head too big, appreciate the rivalry, and just don't sleep on it. So yeah, it's a lot going on. You figure, hey, if you want the weekend to be what it is, Friday you're going to watch World Series, Saturday you're going to watch Canes FSU, and Sunday you got a Dolphins game. So no reason to leave the couch at all this weekend.
Absolutely.
Unless you're going to the Hard Rock.
Yes.
And if you are going to the Hard Rock, if you are a Canes and a Dolphins fan, you might as well just sleep there because it's a quick turnaround. If it's a 7 o'clock game or 1 o'clock game the next day.
Yeah, that's true.
Sleeping.
They got the grounds crew, and they're going to be working the stadium. It's going to have a quick turnaround time. They might be sleeping there, getting that place ready for football the next day. I want to also talk about the Florida Panthers, our defending champion Cats. They're in action right now. What's the score? You got a score update there for me? They're playing the Minnesota Wild at home.
Yeah, it's not good.
What is it? What's the score?
It's 2 minutes left. We're losing by 4, 5-1.
Okay, 5-1. So the Cats taking it on the chin tonight, but they're actually doing something really cool. They are going to be in Finland next week. Yeah. They're playing 2 games in Finland against the Dallas Stars. So that'll be cool to check that out and get some more exposure for the defending champs.
Do you know who banged the drums tonight?
No, I do not.
You don't know who did it tonight?
No. Oh. Who did? Who?
Wait, who's my favorite athlete on the Marlins? Who's the favorite player on the Marlins?
Oh, Sandy.
Sandy
was
there.
Look at that. Wow.
Sandy was there. And I'm telling you, his Tommy John, you never know that man had Tommy John because he was banging it. And I'm thinking you better calm down with that. But no, he banged drums tonight.
He's coming off an injury.
He sure as heck ain't coming back because if they're losing 5-1 with him being there, there's no reason for him to go back there.
Yeah, that's normally how those things work. Just like when somebody sings the national anthem and it doesn't look good, they're not invited back.
Sandy, you stay down here in Miami. Talking about Miami Heat open up tomorrow night, Wednesday. NBA season is back, baby. We open up at home against the Orlando Magic.
Another rivalry, another state rivalry.
Yes, so that'll be exciting. We have our new Dwayne Wade statue that's going to be unveiled eventually. It's a beautiful
Monday night. It'll be unveiled on Monday night.
This week.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we got the Magic tomorrow. Then we're playing a game in Charlotte to open up the season. That's on the road.
Uh-huh.
And then we come back, and on Monday night, they're going to unveil the statue for Dwayne Wade, which is
much overdue respect.
Yeah, I mean,
need it. All these other arenas have it. We got all these other arenas, and they have their statues up. They're great. So it is
the biggest one that I saw, and we didn't really explore Boston's too much, but because we were there for the Dolphins Pats game.
Yeah.
But we got to see the game at the TD Garden. But we didn't really get to see the statues that are out there for that. But the biggest one, the Staples Center in LA.
Oh yeah,
we have all the Laker greats, and when we were there last year, they had still not unveiled the Kobe Bryant statue. So we got to go back and see Kobe's statue. But I mean, so many greats have played for the Lakers. Yeah. So finally, the Heat are getting somebody immortalized in a statue likeness, and that's going to be cool to see.
I just hope it looks like him because you guys know as much as I do. We've seen these busts, we've seen these statues,
right?
And sometimes they don't.
Sometimes they don't get it right.
Please let it look like D-Wade. Please. I don't need it looking like O.J. Simpson or something. Just a nice, good-looking D-Wade is a good-looking guy. Make it look like him, please.
OJ's actually looks like him. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm saying I don't make it look like somebody completely who doesn't look like him.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I should have said.
I don't know why you said OJ, but all right.
Just somebody that they look completely different. I could have said I don't know.
Okay,
but Tony Gonzalez.
There you go. But no, look, Dwayne Wade statue to whoever's putting it together, to their credit, it has not been leaked yet. So there's still people not wondering what it looks like. For me, though, more than if it's an identical looking statue of him.
Yeah.
I think the most famous pose that Dwayne Wade is remembered for is he hit a half-court game-winning shot against the Bulls. It wasn't a playoff game; it was a regular season game.
Yeah.
But the iconic moment after that win, it was a half-court shot. He took off from half-court, nailed it, and it won the game on a 3 against the Bulls, his hometown team where he grew up. And after that, he got on top of the scoreboard table, and he put his jersey up, and he starts going like this. And when he's pointing like this, he's mouthing, "This is my house.
Oh, yeah.
This is my house." And he was so adamant about screaming that out. And so for us Heat fans, the diehard Heat fans, I think that should be the moment forever capitalized. I know he's won finals and all that, but he had a lot of help on those teams. But I think the standalone moment should be him. And I don't even know where the statue is going, but if you put that statue in front of the arena with Dwayne Wade pointing in that famous, pose, saying "This is my house" with the Heat's house behind it, I think that's the moment, and I hope that's the final product.
We'll find out
We'll find out in a couple of days here.
Exciting.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, the Panthers officially lost. I was going to go, where now? Go ahead, Jason.
Yeah, no. So what do you think? The Panthers season's already underway. The Heat season starts tomorrow. Opening night. Opening night is always a big night to get out.
I got to see.
The pageantry.
Yeah.
I will say this. Look, the Heat, the Celtics ran through the playoffs last year, right? They, as you mentioned, and Desi knows.
Desi said they're winning up by 26 now.
Okay.
They're a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, no doubt. And they ran through the NBA playoffs last year, right? Well, they only lost 3 games. They lost, they swept the Cavs, and then they lost a game in every other series. One of those losses was to us, right? And in that series, famously, no Terry Rozier, and of course, no Jimmy Butler. So the fact that you get those guys back, if you beat them one time in the playoffs without them, you have somewhat of a puncher's chance. Also, Nikola Jovic played in the Olympics. He wasn't a star player, but he got some experience playing against the U.S. in the title game.
Yeah.
In the semifinal game. So that he's 20 years old. He's only going to get better.
We look good on paper, Lo.
You got a guy like Jaime Jaquez who's making his second year, his sophomore jump. We got a lot of talent on the roster. We're deep. If Tyler Hero can figure things out, right? If Tyler Hero can finally have a productive, healthy season. Bam shooting threes, by the way. If Bam's, becomes a 3-point threat. So there's a lot of potential, I think, in this team.
I just wanted that off-season big name sign, right? I was hoping that someone was going to take their talents to South Beach.
I think that move was Terry Rozier. I think you traded for Terry.
I don't think it was big enough. I wanted some
Terry Rozier was
big.
Hold on. Terry Rozier was leading I know it's, the Hornets, and they're not a great team, but he was balling for the Hornets. He came down here. He got hurt in his initial, introduction to the lineup, and then he got hurt for the playoffs. So I think that was a big move. And if we're able to stay healthy, I know a lot of teams will say that, but if you're able to stay healthy, not mess around with a play-in tournament, because that's where you get into trouble. If you're able to have a good seeding, have home court advantage, and be a healthy team, you have a shot. And the Heat have winners. They got players between Bam and Butler and Duncan that have played in the finals. Tyler Hero has played in the finals. They have an experienced roster. And if healthy, and if they don't, lollygag or whatever that word is, if they take the regular season serious, they're going to have a chance to make some noise.
I say that every year, and they sure as heck do not disappoint for the most part. And I look forward to this season. I'm not going into do I think we're going to win a championship? We'll see. Got a long season. Basketball season is a very long season. A lot of adversity we fight through, a lot of injury. We know we have stars on the team. We know we have young talent. We have old talent, and what we got. I'm pretty cool right now, right? I'm excited. Yep. I'm just excited to go back to the Kaseya Center. I'm excited to go back to our seats and cheer on the Heat, and I obviously I love them, and I'm excited to see what we have cooking.
Yeah, no doubt. Desi did mention that they just swept Indiana, so that was a team that got swept. Mm-hmm. And then Chef Jew mentions that yes, he remembers that moment. D Wade standing on top of that scores table. I really hope that that's the final product in the statue. So yeah. Yeah, Ms. Finn says that, hey, if our stars get there, and we'll see. So, yep.
No one's going into this, expecting something huge. No one's expecting bad. We're just we're just going with it right now, and we'll see.
Absolutely.
But let's start tomorrow, so got to start somewhere. Tomorrow's the night.
Yeah.
So, guys, it has been fun. Just know that you are not alone in this journey with the Dolphins. We are all feeling it. We feel it different ways, but it is not fun. We are going through it, and we can just hope that things will get better because it has been a rough few weeks. And we gotta see. We gotta see where this goes because I can't imagine it getting any worse. So I'm being positive that it'll get better. So.
Yeah, no, listen, it can only go, like you said, it can only go one way, and that's up. And hopefully, if Tua is able to practice tomorrow, get cleared, gets back on that field, Tyreek will get more than one target, right? Jalen Waddle will get more than one target. Build off whatever Jonnu Smith just did. Run the ball, right? Don't get away from running the ball, and don't miss any field goals, Jason Sanders.
Ugh.
So, yeah, we'll see how we go.
We'll see, guys. So until then, let's go Heat. Finally can say it. Those glorious words. Let's go Panthers. Let's go Dolphins. Canes, take care of business. FS who. And enjoy October baseball. Sweet World Series baseball will start on Friday. Whoever you go for, go Dodgers, go Yankees. May the best team win.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks again to everybody who joined us in Indianapolis. We look forward to our next trip, which will be in Houston. And like I said, we had a great time in Indy this weekend. Just anytime that we connect with fans. And again, I started at the top of the show by saying that when you're riding in the airport, getting on that plane, and you got your gear on, it means that even though the team doesn't have the result that you want, you're loyal to the soil, right? You're still repping your team, and that's important. That's pretty much everyone in the room right now, and everybody who follows our Dolphin fan. You're not doing it because you're a bandwagon fan. You're not doing it because you're raising banners like Desi is tonight. You're doing it because you love the team, and you want the good times to come. Hopefully, they come soon.
Yeah. I don't know about this season, but
hey, it's not. Come on, still a lot of season left. So
we'll see. We're in this together, and this week's a new week. So you do it mathematically. We're still in it, right? You know what I mean? It could be a lot worse. Could be a team with worse record, but we're fine. So guys, just go with the punches, and let's see what happens.
Yep. Well, fins up, guys. Have a great rest of your week. And if you come into town, we'll see you in town, around town for Fan Club Weekend. We'll see you at the Hard Rock on Sunday, and we are just pumped up to have our quarterback, back in action. So, fins up.
Fins up, guys.
All right, guys. Peace.